Asher and Penland on W4CY Radio.
Look at me, do you see? Hiding all of the things deep inside, all the dreams of the girl you want me to be. Think I should.
This is the Pipe Man here on the Adventures Pipe Man W4CY Radio, and I'm here with an amazing band that has some incredible new music. So let's welcome to the show Limberlost.
How's everybody doing?
Woo! Thank you.
So I gotta tell you, it's actually funny. I mean, I don't know how funny she'll think it is when she hears it, but so I was just getting my hair done similar to yours, Brittany, because I have this side shaved, down. But and somebody there who I know, she actually lost an arm during COVID. So and while I'm saying your name and consider it was right after that, I'm like, well, that's kind of weird because it kind of said like, oh, limb lost.
Limb is lost. I know. Well, that's been my big joke actually being here in a fitness camp in the middle of nowhere is that my limber, is lost. I'm very like, all the time, so it's pretty great. I love the name of the band, but actually it comes from the name of a forest. And where is it? Georgia? Is that where it is?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Okay, good, because Georgia kind of scared me. I'm a Yankee, and I'm thinking that it's like in the deep woods of Georgia where they're like still lynching people or something.
Well, no.
Very, very possible. Our original guitar player, who was the guy that I started the band with, his grandparent, or he's from Georgia, and his grandmother used to call the woods out behind their house where they'd send him to get a switch to get his ass beat with. He called it the Limberlost. And so that's kind of how we brought it to the room. But then we did the whole research of it, and there's actually a story and a legend of a swamp up in Indiana, and that's where the whole thing came from. So
I want to hear that story. Let's hear that story.
Oh, well,
to make it real brief, it was a guy. His name was Limber Jim. Don't know how he got that name, but that was his name. He walked himself into a forest and he got lost. And he he was
couldn't have been Limber Janet or something like that. It had to be Jim, huh?
Limber Jim, that's right. Limber Jim. And he walked himself into a forest and he got lost. And he was to the point of thinking this would be the end for him. And he called to a higher power and he prayed and he got himself out. He walked in a straight lines in that moment and he went forward. And so the story is a funny little story when I say it like that. But the message that we take from it is that no matter how lost you are or how lost we feel, we have our mission is to just keep going, and that we are on our straight path, and that we will find our way out, and everyone, and that's the message we give to all of our fans too, the lost ones we call them, because everybody gets to a point in their life where they feel, how am I going to get out of this, or how there's no way that this could move on for me. And that's kind of where our music comes from. It stems from that place, and it's supposed to be a beacon of light to help you out. So there you go.
See, I love that because that combines both of my personalities. Like you have my music metalhead personality, and then I'm also a motivational speaker, so the motivational personality all in one. I love that. And I would never, you brought up the story, I would even never ask how you got your band name because it's the stupidest question ever that most people ask. Okay, but I'm glad the story came out because it is a pretty funny and good one. I like the message. So there you go.
Yeah, well, thank you.
So tell us about the new kind of formation of the band, and you got Steve with you now, and just like it's being reborn into something better.
Who wants to take this one?
Go for it, Steve.
She's pointing to the people at the fitness camp.
Okay. For myself,
I've known these guys for a long time, and go back 12, 15 years, and we've crossed a lot of paths doing shows together and such, and we've always liked each other as people, and I always thought they were a really good band. At the time, back in the day, wasn't really my style of music because they were more like bluesy. Not that there's anything wrong with blues, it's just not really my thing. But when they came back from Europe on their tour and they decided to rebuild the band because it kind of fell to pieces after that tour, they went to Woodshed and started writing some new material, and they wanted to take the band in a little bit different direction. And when they sent me the tracks of what they were coming up with, I was like, damn, this shit is really, really good. And yeah, and it's funny because they were originally trying to get to my son, Devin, to play the guitar. And, my son being what he is, he took like a week to get back to him. And so Mike reached out to me and he's like, hey, man, we're looking for a guitar player and a bass player. And, wondering if, we can grab your kid and, if you know anybody that's interested in the bass. And that's when he sent me the material. And I was like, shit, man, I think that I got your bass player and your guitar player. And my son Devin and I listened to it and we called him back and said, dude, if you guys are in, we're in. And
Nice.
so here we are a year later, and a couple videos later, and the songs have hit the charts, and things are going really good. All we gotta do now is get our asses out on the road and do the live show.
There it is. There it is. But you know what I love about that is you got the father and son thing going there.
Mhm.
And like, I think about it too. So that's why I'm asking you, do you think back in the 80s that you would have ever imagined playing in a band with your kid?
Back in the '80s, I couldn't even imagine having a kid.
Right?
I thought that having a kid would be like a death sentence, my career would be done, and I wouldn't be able to tour, and I'd be stuck home with a kid and all that kind of stuff. And it ended up being the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
I love it.
But yeah, he came out of the womb with a guitar in his hand, and I've been playing it ever since. And I teach him what I know, and then I send him to lessons, and now he's far surpassed a teacher, man. He's way better than I am on a guitar or a bass. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking over and watching my son just blow people away.
And it's cool that we can have that nowadays. Like back then, I would have never been in a band with my dad because whatever music he was listening to was definitely, and it's like so great now. Like I do coverage at music festivals all over the US, UK, Europe, and you see people, it's parents and kids at metalhead shows. And like I put my son in his first mosh pit ever and two of my grandkids. And it's like, wow, I would have never thought that. Like and it's funny. Me and my bro used to always say, when we get older, what are our kids going to listen to that makes our stuff seem like, like we're old, like we're listening to Slayer and of course Metal Church and Metallica and Exodus. And it's like, what could possibly be more rebellious that our kids would do? And it went the other way. They're just joining us.
Yeah. Well, luckily for me, my kids grew up around the 80s stuff. So that's kind of what they fell in love with. And then Devin's first concert was a Kiss concert when he was 5 years old.
Nice.
And, my agent ended up getting me front row tickets. I had tickets to go to the show, but they were, somewhere back in the nosebleeds probably. And he called me up like a day or two before the show. And he's like, you're going to love me. And I'm like, Mick, I already do love you. And he's like, no, you're going to really love me now. I got you 3 front row tickets for Kiss tomorrow night.
Wow.
And I about shit my pants. And so I brought my son front row, dead center. And he ended up becoming part of the show. Paul Stanley pulled him up on stage and gave him his guitar and everything. But we still got the guitar here in my studio. And it was an awesome experience and probably a life-changing thing for him. So as for him, seeing Kiss his first time and being pulled on stage and ending up with a guitar, that kind of set the hook of what was already. I was already trying to, get him to go that direction, and Kiss set the hook with them, kind of like Elvis Presley did for me, because Elvis was my first concert, and first time you're at a show and you see something blow you away, it leaves an impression on you. So.
Oh, I know that feeling. Like we all have that feeling. Like, you know, for me, it was the first club show actually, because my dad moved me from Jersey to L.A. in May of 1980. Imagine what a time to move to L.A. And I went to the Roxy to a Motley Crue show before they ever had an album, before they were glam, when they were basically like horror punk. And I remember walking out of that show, I'm like, I'm never going to a real concert ever again.
It is really cool to see big bands in a smaller venue because you can actually get to see them, you know, and see all the little things that they do that you don't see when they're on a big, enormous stage and, you know, 20,000 people in the crowd and you happen to be back in the nosebleeds. You know, you don't get to really be part of the show even though you're there.
Exactly. And yeah. I love to hear that about Kiss bringing your kid up on stage, because everybody likes to throw shade at Kiss, but Kiss is what got me into music. I remember being at the Jersey Shore at the boardwalk. The first Kiss album first came out, but I didn't know who they were. I was playing some game and I won, and it was for record albums. I picked the ones for record albums, and I just saw their faces on the album like, that's the one I want. And then I became like a Kiss fanatic right after that.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that concert was that after Paul gave him the guitar, Doc McGee came up to us and invited us backstage after the show. And Paul came in and hung out with my son for about 20 minutes. And I didn't have a camera with me at the time. And he took a picture. He had somebody backstage take a picture, and he took my address. And he's like, "Hey man, if this picture turns out, I'll make sure you get a copy."
Wow.
And I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, sure." But like 3 weeks later, a big package showed up, 8x10. Hey, Devin, you know, it was great to see you. Keep rocking with your dad, you know, Paul Stanley. And, signed, you know, wrote a letter and signed all the pictures and everything. And he followed through. And, you know, that really blew me away because it was like I've been a Kiss fan since I was my son's age at that time. And, you know, it just kind of like renewed my sense of, you know, I made the right choice. This was a bitchin' band. You know, they actually followed through and did something like this for a fan.
I love hearing that because as big as they are, you know, like some of the bands out there, when they get that big, it goes to their head or whatever. And, you know, it's good to hear when bands are acting like that, because that's going to create the future generation that's going to be into the music, you know? Exactly. And like he made your kid's life forever.
Yep.
You know, I had that experience with my couple of my grandchildren. Like one of my grandchildren, his favorite band was, and he was like, I don't know, 9, was Five Finger Death Punch.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to bring him to festivals with me, and I brought him, and he actually got interviewed by Ivan, because I had an interview with Ivan. Ivan, while I'm setting up, is interviewing him. Ivan brought him up on stage, and then, you know, we went up side stage for Tremonti, and Mark and his other guitarists were sitting there coming over to him and playing guitar to him with their back to the crowd. And like, you never forget crap like that, you know?
Yeah. Did Ivan beat anybody up while you were with him?
Say that again?
Did Ivan beat anybody up while you were with him?
No. He was sober.
I seen him come back out backstage. I was hanging out in their bus, and he came back out stage, and some guy that was wearing his shirt said something that he didn't like. He's like, "Give me that fucking shirt. You ain't worthy wearing that shirt." He like ripped the shirt right off the guy's.
Oh my God! Those were the drunk days, though, right?
Yeah, and he goes, "Don't move." He runs on the bus, and he went and grabbed like $50, and he threw it to the guy to get his money back for the shirt.
Wow.
Yeah. Poor kid walked off without a shirt.
Yeah, he was a hot mess during those days for sure. Oh man. Yeah, so like this is what it's all about right here. And like that's why it's cool that I think your son's in the band too. And you know, how do you guys feel about having a father and son in the band?
Oh, I love it. I think it's amazing.
It's you know, like Steve said, Steve and I go back probably 15 years. And what was really funny, Devin, I don't know how old he was. He had to be probably 14 or something like that. Actually, one of his bands, I don't know if it was their first show, but we used to have this club called Louis G's down in Tacoma, where we're all from. And my 80s band was doing its 30-year reunion show. And this little band, Sin Circus, opened up for us. And I guess, I swear to God, I think Steve even got up and sang at that. Weren't you singing for him back then?
Oh, I think we got up and jammed to Detroit Rock City or something like that.
Yeah, nice. Something like that. Yeah. So I mean, that was my first exposure to these to Steve and his boys. But I'd known Steve I think a little bit before that. But it was just kind of odd how it all came. I mean, Brittany can attest to this. We're driving down the road and we're starting to figure out how we're going to get players and doing all this stuff. And we talked to our manager Paul Crosby, from Saliva, and he's like, oh yeah, dude, we can get players, man. Nashville's full of players. This shit's great. We'll get players. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm telling Brady, I go, yeah, but there's this one kid I've been really wanting to play with. He's just such a cool kid, and it's never worked out, and he's just really professional. And I said, I'd like to throw this at Devin. I never in my wildest dreams thought the busiest man in show business was going to listen to it and go, shit, I want in, but like Steve said, I went about a week and I didn't hear back from Devin after I texted him a couple times, and we're sitting in, I think we were out shopping or something. We were sitting in a parking lot, and I said, I'm just going to call Steve. I don't want him to think I'm poaching his kid here, and all that. And so I called him up, and he's like, well, shit, send me the stuff. I'll listen to it and I'll get it over to him. And what are you looking for? And I go, a guitar and a bass. Okay, cool. I'll see what I can do. And what was it? 2 days later, 2 days later, something like that. He called up, and we both were just like looking at each other when he says, well, I want to be your bass player. And we're like, okay. I'm wondering how that's all going to work with the Metal Church and the Autograph at the time, because he was pretty busy, and he has this other project with his Elvis tribute, and I was like, yeah, this could be interesting, but the universe has a way of shaking things up, so at least one of those deals I don't got to deal with anymore, but we're looking to get it out. Yeah, it's just fun having them both. I mean, like I said, Steve and I've been throwing jabs at each other on the internet for probably at least the last 10 or 12 years. So it's now we're just doing it. Now we're just doing it across the studio, so yeah. It is what it is.
Speaking of jabs, the funny thing is, if you add my age and my son's age together, we're still younger than Mike.
and then wasn't the band Kiss short for Kiss My Ass?
I'm just
God.
that old. But he is older.
Yeah.
See, this is why you guys are a great band right here. Like you're just having fun together and like each other. Like, there's too many bands out there that are just like pissed at each other all the time. And I'm like, dude, you're in music.
Well, we're just getting,
have fun.
It's early. It's early. We're just getting started. It's early.
Yeah, if you're not having fun in this industry, it's the wrong one to be in for sure.
Yeah, it's way too hard to not have fun with it, man.
No doubt.
Well, that's the thing. That was a really cool thing about Steve coming on board too. Is it's just like the fun factor went up because both of us are kind of the same guy when it comes to certain shit. So, we haven't turned on each other yet because there's still too many helpless victims out there. But
wait, you mean one of you didn't go across stage and try to punch the other out during a performance?
No, I'm just talking about Frank.
Not even so much on stage. It's more like the backstage antics and when we're in hotels, B&B's time, and we're just fucking with each other, and
Yeah, he doesn't know. He draws wieners on people's faces. I trace them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's still trying to figure out what happened to his toothbrush that one time.
There's that.
See, that's all big shit.
Are my teeth that brown?
See, this proves that there's still fun things that go on backstage.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the world's a fucked up place, and this is supposed to be an escape. Music for me has always been an escape. If I go see the concert, I don't want them preaching politics to me. I don't want them to preaching, whatever their thoughts are, whatever the bummer's going on in the world. I paid money to go see this show and have a escape from reality.
No doubt. I'm with you, man. Like I actually came up with an idea of how we could solve all the world's problems, and that is to have one big music festival, specifically rock, metal, punk, not the ones where people fight at, and where the whole world has to attend, because
and on the way to the door, everybody's handed a joint.
There you go. Because that's where we are united. That's where there are no outsiders. Funny story about that is, like, I had somebody working for me. She was also a co-host on my show, and she was a country girl. And one time, one weekend, I had to cover 2 festivals at once, which of course I couldn't do. And so I sent her to one, and she had never been to a rock show in her life. And this was a Danny Wimmer festival with, I think Slipknot was headlining, and Bring Me the Horizon and stuff like that. And I said to her, I'm like, listen, she was really scared about it, because like us metalheads, we scare people. I said to her, listen, you're going to have so much fun at this thing. Like, it's not like your country shows you go to where the rednecks are getting drunk and beating the shit out of each other. Like, you're going to make new friends. You'll probably meet some dude. And I just painted this like picture of how great it is. She comes back after the weekend and she goes, oh my God, you were so right. I made all these great new friends. I teabagged some guy and he's now my boyfriend. And she goes, I have this new favorite band. I don't think you know them. They're called Bring Me the Horizon. Like, yeah, I think I kind of know who they are. And like, there you go. That's how you convert them right there. Just send them to a festival. And like, that's why I think like we would all get along if we just all went to a festival, had one huge mosh pit, and just let all the bullshit out in the mosh pit, man. That's the way it should be. And just leave it all in the pit. Fuck the wars. Fuck the bullshit. Just leave it all in the pit, and we can all have a joint and a beer afterwards. That's the way it goes.
Yep.
There you go.
I'm with
That's
you.
the beauty of music. It's the best therapy there is, too. Like, anything that's ever been shit in my life, man, all I have to do is go to a show, and it changes things immediately.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
you got the EP coming out later this year. Tell us about that, and tell us about the other songs. Like, you have the new single, Give It To Me, but give us an idea of what other songs on there are going to be like.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so excited for this next one because it's a bit of a continuation on our last album. Beautiful Scars was a concept album, taking on the Japanese art form of kintsugi or kintsugi on as a person, and as you grow and gain experience and you get scars, sometimes we make them mean negative things, but what if we made them mean beautiful things? So that was the story of Beautiful Scars, is kind of coming into your own and owning everything that you are and that you have done and that you have been through. And then Villain is the working title of our next EP, which will be a little bit of a different release, because we're not going to release it all in one. We're going to give it to y'all slowly, so one song at a time. And I think the first one is so our first one is that's right. That's what everyone's telling us to do. So of course we're going to do it. But also it's a good thing because it allows us to just keep ourselves on the radio. Here's another one. Here's another. We have a whole bunch. And then there will be one special track and maybe a hidden one on the album for you to find that won't be released until the album. So, but Villain is a continuation of that. And this is where you've not only come into your own, but you accept who you are in everyone else's story too. So, like Villain, the title track is about exactly that. I'll be the villain of the story in your head. And the song on the radio, Give It To Me, is about owning, like, you know what? I'm not going to take it. You're going to give it to me. Having that kind of confidence to walk into a room and know exactly who you are and how you stand and how you can, and how you gain, what's the word I want to think of? But it's not independence, but it's sort of like you gain, I guess confidence is really just that word. And it's very femme-powered. It has a lot of language that's testosterone-driven language sung by a female. So it's just a very strong feminine song, and I love it. That's Give It To Me. Oh my gosh, we have a lot on this album. We have a cover song that I don't want to give away, but I'm super excited about it because it's one that most people do very, very slow, and we put a bit of a heavy drive to it. We brought out a little bit of emotion in it, and we bring in some big guitars to it, and it's a very well-known song, so I'm excited about that one. My gosh, did I forget anything? We have one on our old, we're re-resurrecting. So Give It To Me was a resurrection of one, and we're also going to resurrect another one, potentially, from volume 1. So again, I won't say which one. I'm going to keep them all a little secret unless Mike says we can share.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, you can share.
Oh, yeah.
You can share them.
Yeah.
They're printed. They're
okay.
ready to go. So, yeah.
Okay.
I have a meeting with our radio guy next Thursday just for the order of release. But yeah, everything's already packaged and ready to go. So you're free to move about the country.
Nice.
Great. Well, you will hear another redo of our song Babylon. And this one I'm so excited about because I took it to a different level. It's just a total fevered dream. It's just amazing. And the cover song, which I'm very excited, is a Beatles one because I love the Beatles. I grew up on the Beatles, and we're going to do In My Life.
Oh, I love that song. Interesting
Our
story.
version.
Going back to Kiss, like I was also a Beatles fanatic because right after I got that album, some other kid, I think I was like first, second grade, I don't even remember, but they came in and did an oral report on the Beatles, and I was like, oh, they're cool. And, you know, my walls as a little kid in my room, no wall, it showed my, I don't know, I guess schizophrenia or whatever, because down the middle, I had Kiss on one side, Beatles on the other, as far as posters wall to wall.
Yep.
But they're so similar, and people don't know when I say how similar they are. They're like, Beatles and Kiss, come on. And then I tell them the different things. Like, you know, it was always Paul and John if either one of them wrote a song, and just like Gene and Paul. And you know, whoever wrote the song sang the song, you know, and there was just the formula was pretty similar as far as that goes. And then even the fact of branching out in different directions. The Beatles were known for like going in so many different areas, and I think Kiss did a lot of that too throughout the years.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so that's I love that you're doing that cover, and I love that you're doing it not slow.
Well, it was very interesting because she was singing it one day, and it was just kind of like, I'm hearing this thing and I'm going, what is that? And she's like in there just belting this song, and I'm just like, that is amazing. And she's like, yeah, we should, I want to do this and stuff. So, you know, and it was really interesting that there's a little bit of a, I don't want to give too much away on it, but you know, it is what it is. There was, you know, just like she said, we went and scoured and listened to all the different covers out there, including Ozzy and Slash, and nobody ever had I don't know if it was the desire or the feel or the courage, whatever, you know, to take that song up a couple notches. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about going full on Disturbed with it now, right? But I'm just saying but it's, you know, but it was just that there was a lot of power in the emotion of that song. Can I put it that way, Brittany? It's just very emotionally powerful, and I don't think the emotional power of that song ever really got tapped. And
that's a good point.
We did that, and there's a lot of Brian Mayish style kind of guitar stuff coming into it, very melodic in its sense, but there's a lot of hit to it. There's we'll take you to the cliff and drop you off. It's a, I mean, if you don't when you're done listening to the song, if you don't feel something, then you either weren't listening to it or you hate music.
I can't wait.
And so there you go. But yeah, so we're excited. I mean, it was just kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, that works. the story of "Give It to Me," the song that we're talking about today. That song actually got released in 2023, but never got released in the United States.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was just kind of a thing. Brittany and I were like coming up with all these little marketing plans that we had for our European tour with Yngwie. And one of the things that was like, what we should be doing, and of course I was talking to Paul too, is, man, if we had a song we could put out, then we could hire a PR person over there. We could get some radio spots. We could build up a little, gin up some, obviously Yngwie's going to sell out, but it'd be nice to have some Limberlost shirts in the crowd, right? And being our first trip to Europe, that's a tall order too. But it was like, we had some internet traction over there, so we figured we'd try and get that. So it just so happened that "Give It to Me" was kind of in that almost done space. So we kind of pushed it and produced it and got it out, and then released it and whitelisted all the stuff in the Western Hemisphere, but we only released it all over there. So yeah, if you were in UK, you could Spotify that song in 2023 to today. In fact, it still gets a lot of spins over there. But then we got back, and it was kind of like, now we've got to release it here. But then we were kind of like, I don't know if this is the band we want to release it with. I don't know if this is the direction we want to go. We had already
and at the time too.
Go ahead.
Our songs were sounding different, right? And if I remember correctly, we were like, it doesn't sound like our new material now. Oh no, and so it'd be, what do we do with this song? I remember that.
And we had a couple of them. There's a song we wrote with a friend of ours named Sammy called Ruja, and it's kind of sitting in this nexus, like, what do we do with this song? But
it is.
Then the sound changed dramatically, and so when this new EP started to take shape, it was kind of like, if we gave this song a modern makeover, and when I say modern, to this band, to this sound,
right,
to this energy, this would be a good time to release that song. So that's what you have, and it's just kind of a reimagined version of what we wrote back in 2023. And I personally, even though I penned it, I personally like this version way better than the old one.
Nice. I think that's true of a lot of artists, though. It's like I've heard Hetfield say all the time, like, I don't know why they play the old version of Seek and Destroy at the San Jose Sharks games. I can sing a lot better now. And it's like, I find that a lot of artists, when they redo stuff or their music later, they like it better. Why? Because you're a better musician at that point. Like when you're a teenager doing this stuff, you don't really know what you're doing yet. So you want to grow into your craft and get better at your craft. And I think that's what happens. And that's probably what happened with this song.
Yeah. Well, we've got the players, Steve is, renowned Metal Hall of Fame bass player. His son is a beast. In fact, we just released a short out today of him covering his solo in this and playing. And it's just like, you listen to it and then watch him play it, and you're just kind of like, wow, this kid's good, Nice. And then of course we've got, Beaker the Wizard, that our keyboard player, Tony. We have lots of names for Tony. There's Tony, there's Teabag, there's
Dr. Who,
there's Dr. Who,
Fucky Tony, the Wizard, Beaker.
Yeah, I mean, and he's the coffee roaster. Was he Juan Valdez now, because he's roasting coffee on it. We just got a short from him on that. But anyway, and then of course these two lovely opera singers that just are top of their craft. I mean, what do you do? What do you do with that? And the material and this that we've been able to write, and the way we've been able to produce it, I don't know. It just was kind of like one of those lightning in a bottle moments. But I think it's definitely where we belong. I think we are strong here, and you're just seeing the beginning of it. We took a couple of these songs that are on the albums, Sugar and Villian. We actually took those out on the road last year.
Mm-hmm.
We had just finished writing those. I think about the time we were rehearsing to go out on tour, and we were like, shit, let's put these in the mix, And so we've been playing those for a little while now, and those haven't been released yet, but they went over really well on tour. So yeah, we're really excited. It's an interesting year. It's going to be fun. Like Steve says, our biggest challenge right now is we kind of went through a couple situations where we don't quite have the booking management that we thought we were going to have. So we're a little slow off the start getting out this year. We do have some big shows coming up. Of course, there are things we've signed that we can't talk about yet because there's bigger names on those bills that haven't announced yet.
Right.
But you know, so we do have stuff coming up, but you know, the fun stuff is going to be releasing these songs, of course. And then we also, I'm personally very excited about the summer when I think we're going to do it when we hit Sturgis. We picked up a very, very talented and very experienced front of house guy.
That's important.
And he's worked with, I don't know, Steve could speak to it better because we met him through Steve, but he's dropped names like the Commodores, Lady Gaga, Bondi. He was just supposed to go out on tour with Ghost, but got COVID right before it, so they had to find somebody else. You know, he's worked the board at Wacken. He's, you know, I mean, he's really, really good. He's actually a serial killer in our video Buried.
I love
He's
it.
actually a serial killer. Moving on.
Yeah, actually,
You like it's
That's
all
why I
about delivery and timing. Yeah.
I know, right? Exactly.
But so
Normal.
he's going to actually, he is actually, we did this on tour and we kind of tested the waters a little bit and it sounded pretty good. We just didn't have the right setup for it at this one venue, but we're going to have the right setup in Sturgis. So he's going to record it and then we're going to get together with him in Vegas probably for a few days and do all the mix downs and stuff like that. And we're going to put out a live record probably around just before the holidays. And you don't see that too often from a band like us. So at our level, so
right,
we're excited to do that.
I love it. And you know what, I'm just playing the buzz out there because I promote all their festivals, but we need to see you guys at like Louder Than Life and Aftershock later in the year.
Please.
Hello.
Please.
Thank you. We'd love
Danny-
to be
Danny
there.
Rimmer.
Right?
Yeah.
We already have the lineup for the other one. Your band, like with just that song alone, which by the way, I was listening to it, I'm like, man, that song could seriously have commercial success. I don't say that often because I'm not into most songs that are going to have commercial success, you know, but it has the components to it. And I love the message too. Like to Steve's point, you know, fuck all the other negative bullshit that musicians are talking about. Let's talk about stuff like this because that's what we need right there. And and
empowering words, you know.
I could also tell you, but I could also tell you that the other Winter Festival, Bourbon and Beyond, which is not the metal hard rock one, you guys could probably play there too because you're the type of band, based on what I heard, that can go. There's some bands that play Bourbon and Beyond that can be in Louder in Life and Bourbon and Beyond, you know, and I think that's what you guys are.
Well, appreciate that. Yeah, if you have any tricks for us to line up into those areas, I'm all ears because those are actually big goals of ours to get to find our way. That's one of the reasons we're pushing so hard on radio too. And you know, I think we're actually the song might even be going. I was talking to Paul. It looks like we might even be getting, you know, and again, nothing's guaranteed, but we might be getting pushed into possibly a test drive on Octane with this one.
Nice.
You know, at least an opportunity, you know, at least put it on the table, you know. But then again, like you said, we can go, you know, we can go softer too, you know. It's how do I want to say it? I think we are built for those type of deals. That's what this band has actually been constructed for, is the live show, production, energy. When Brittany and I sat down and put Beautiful Scars together, one of the biggest conversations we had during all that was how it was almost looking at it from a musical theater standpoint. Is how does the whole production, how does the whole stage show look per song? And so we really put a lot of thought into that when we're writing and producing these songs too. It's like, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do there? Oh, we could do this with this part, you know, and stuff. Because at the end of the day, with all the BS going on out there about music and all the computers and AI and all the stuff going on, at the end of the day, you still have to go out and deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You still have to be that connection to somebody, Paul Stanley to little Devin Unger. You still have to provide that, and so that's what those are our major goals. So when you say things like Louder Than Life and Aftershock, I'm kind of chubbing up over here. Can't really see, but
it's small, but I'm sure it's there.
It's small, but it's important. But
oh man, that's great.
I'm just saying, those are our bucket list items right now, at least on the stateside thing. You made a comment about the positive and stuff too. I got to share one little story with you from our last tour.
Sure.
And we wrote a song back in, oh God, I think we recorded it back in 2019. We had a very famous producer come to town and named Timothy Eaton, and he took this song on, and there's a whole story how that happened. But and he produced this song, and we did a video, and it's a very long song. It's not a radio song. It's like a 6.5 minute song, but it's just so impactful. It's got so much message to it. And we were out on tour, and we just finished our show in Atlanta, and we were driving our RV, and the boys were in the hotel. But we hit this little the day of, hey, let's stay here, RV park in Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile, Alabama.
Alabama.
And as we do, I pull in with our 53-foot land yacht here, and I go into the, check us in, and of course I talk to the person. I tell them who we are. I give them a CD because that's what we do. We're spreading the word, right? And she goes, "Oh, my daughter will love this. She listens to this kind of stuff." And she tells me a little story about her daughter and some trauma she'd went through and family stuff that had happened, and how she was really into music now, and da da da. So as I'm leaving, a young gal walks in. I didn't know it was her daughter. And then we go and park and start setting up our stuff for the night. And about 20 minutes later, they roll up in their little golf cart, and the daughter had walked in as I was walking out, saw the CD sitting on the counter and said, "Where'd you get that?" And she goes, "Well, the drummer was just in there. They're staying here, and he gave me their new CD." And she goes, "Shut up! I have them on my Spotify." And we're like, and so they drove down to meet us, and I don't want to go into the story because it's
it'll make me tear up.
Well, it's not for public consumption, but
no.
She went through some heavy trauma, and it was our song "Good Fight" that got her through it.
Wow.
And we're a little band out of Seattle, and she's a little girl in Mobile, Alabama.
I love that. That's what music's all about right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That it's moments like that for people like you guys that's what you do it for. That's when you get that moment where, even if you're in the moment of like, oh, so sick of this business, why am I doing this? And then something like that happens and you're like, that's why, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
It reaffirms it. It brings you back to why. I think that's the whole thing is if you get up in the morning and you've lost your why, well, then what the hell are you doing? No doubt. 100%. But
gotta have your why.
I think we're all rockers, so we're naturally immature. So my grandmother says you're only young once, but you can be immature forever. So I think that we have that natural immaturity that comes along with it.
Hey, what's great about that is my grandkids like me a lot better than their parents because I'm a lot cooler and a lot more fun.
Yeah. Right. That's right.
I even if their parents say don't take them in the mosh pit, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm taking.
Well, I was around. Let's put it this way: I'm old enough that I saw the original. I waited every Friday night to see the original Batman series.
Oh yeah, me too, man. Me too.
All right, and I hate old people. I'm an old. I'm just saying. I just don't want to be. I don't want to be that. I see
it's
people
so true though.
That are just like they've lost their limber. I don't know.
State of mind.
Yeah, of course. That's what it is. It's so true though. Like I have this brother that's 6 years older than me, and I swear he's like 30 years older than me.
Right.
Like, he was just telling me the other day he was complaining because some kids were playing their music too loud. And I'm like, well, that would have been fun. What the fuck are you complaining about?
I would have been over there partying with them.
Right, exactly. And it is I think that's the true thing about rockers is that, you know, we never get to that point where it's like like my parent would have been. Will you and your motley crew turn that shit off?
Satanic music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Devils.
Praising the devil and shit.
Oh man, it was. By the way, speaking of that, I figured out how to get rid of Jehovah's Witnesses when they come to your door.
Answer it naked.
That's a good one too. I'll have to try that too. But
Pay for the pizza.
I think it was like I was like 16 years old, and I had Slayer playing through my guitar amplifier when they knocked on the door, and I had an Ozzy Diary of a Madman shirt on, and they started their thing, and I just looked at them very dead serious. I'm like, yeah, I'm a devil worshiper. Can't you tell? They freaking ran, man. They believed me. They freaking ran.
Yeah.
I had a similar story like that because I used to have a pet snake who sadly passed away. But one time I answered the door with a pet snake around my neck to the
Nice.
Jehovah's Witnesses, who
Nice.
talked for a minute until she looked up and went, "Oh my God!" So if you have it, you know, just whip out the snake. I think in any
Well,
way
If
that you
you're
can
fe-
take that, just
wait,
whip out
you have to
the snake.
rephrase that.
Hey, Brendan.
You have to rephrase that.
Don't
If you're a
encourage Steve.
female, if you're a female without the snake, okay.
No. I think that in general, that's probably the message we all shared there was kind of whip out the snake.
I need you to send me that sound clip. I have a reel in mind now.
Oh yeah,
God.
I think I am going to go into this interview and distribute that part as a reel.
Well,
Put it on repeat.
Whip out the snake.
Put it on like repeat.
oh my gosh.
Whip out the snake. Whip out the snake.
Oh boy. The next EP that we'll have is inspired by
Don't be a Jehovah's Witness. Whip out the snake. That's the name of the next EP.
Well, it's funny. We actually have a song on this new EP called "The Devil Never Sings."
We
There
do.
you go.
We do.
There you go. So that's perfect. So how do people reach out to you guys on socials, on the web, buy your merch, check out tour dates, get the music, all that stuff? And by the way, if they don't buy your fucking merch, they can't listen to my fucking show.
Oh, well, if you
Just
like
saying.
that. There you go. Well, I'm going to say you got to look at our limberlostmusic.com webpage.
Not to
you
be
can get
confused with Limberlust, by the way. Don't go
Limberlust,
that way.
or as
Yeah,
we
don't
were
go that
once-
way.
we were once called Lumberlust, you know, because the guy
All
said
you
his
people that-
music gave him wood.
Get wood, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go on.
Spotted Owl fixed that. But anyway, yes, limberlostmusic.com is our website. And we are all over everything. Facebook. We are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just did our first couple of YouTube lives. So we've got a lot of stuff, a lot of independent artist kind of things going on over there. And plus all of our music and stuff. And of course, all the platforms, you know, Spotify, Pandora, you know, iTunes, all, you know, anywhere we're professionally distributed. So it's everywhere. But if you go to our website, there is a store, and it's been called the Walmart of rock and roll merchandise
Nice.
stores, because we have just about everything you could think of, including Steve's refreshing Limber Lube.
Perfect.
But
We do have a lot. We have a lot of stuff though. We have dog collars,
yeah,
luggage, and just anything you'd want on a Saturday night, I guess.
yep, tennis shoes. You can get Limberlost tennis shoes. It's really cool.
You can get tennis
okay.
shoes.
Here's
There's all
what you
kinds
need
of
to
fun
do.
stuff.
Here's what you
You
need
get
to
an
do.
you can get an alien.
Actually,
Go ahead.
alien what?
Alien G-string, but no, I don't know. Do we have an alien
Stop.
G-string?
No,
Yeah.
here's what
No.
you gotta do. Here's what you gotta do. I have a pair of Bad Flower Heelys. You gotta do Heelys.
Heelys.
Oh, fucking
Huh.
shoes with wheels.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Those little
Since you brought up the sneakers, you know.
Tennis
you can even
shoe wheels.
you can buy my drumsticks.
Nice.
Yeah. We even have instruments, actually. We've got a lot. We have like all kinds of fun stuff. It's definitely worth a look. But you can find us on all the social media platforms. We're, limberlostmusic.com. You could just Google Limberlost Music, Shopify. We're on that. Like just all the things. There isn't a place you won't find us.
How about this? Do you have a limber
kazoo?
Yes. I couldn't even say it. Yeah, I got a Limberlost
kazoo. Oh my gosh,
It's from a band that I interviewed at, I think, Bloodstock. And I can't remember which band, and it was a death metal or metalcore band, so I can't read what the band is either.
Right. That damn
Don't have a kazoo. We do have an air freshener that can go in your car, though, and it's our logo, and it smells like coconut.
See, that's so funny you should say that, because I like that, because I was driving down the road just literally 2 days ago, and I saw somebody with those old school, look like pine tree air fresheners, and I'm like, man, why are people still buying generic ones like that? Like, you're going to hang that in your window? Like, that looks stupid. Get something cool. So
like
we have
like a park ranger.
Right? That would be a good one.
Yeah, we've got that on there. We got all kinds of stuff, but there is Steve's Limber Lube, so that's it smells nice. It's very nice. It's white and creamy.
But in all seriousness, though, we also have all of our music downloadable and straight there on our website. So we, as much as we love all the distribution platforms, and you can get our music everywhere, but if you buy it from us directly, we don't have to share. So it really helps us as independents. If you're going to download our music, download our singles, download albums, we have all the digital downloads available. We also have some physical copies, depending on how new it is. But all of that is on there also. So we're kind of a self-enclosed one-stop shop. We also have a VIP section on our website if somebody wants to support us that way. It's $35 a year or something like that, and then you get all the you get all the outtakes, all the cut ups, all the who got the wedgie on tour, all that kind of stuff. That's all in that little corner there. So we call that our VIP section. Plus you get a chance to get things a little bit before they come out. So all on our website. So we're becoming our own little country.
Do you have any 8 tracks?
Yes.
8 tracks? No. I have 8 tracks, but I don't have any Limberlost 8 tracks.
How do we make we've never gone down the road of making those. Yeah. It's hard enough just to make records, which we do have. We do have a way to buy a record, but
they're making cassettes now again too.
Yeah.
Bring back the 8-track. Like, I miss my Blizzard of Oz 8-track where I had to put the matchbook underneath and it shifted from track 2 to track 3 in the middle of Mr. Crowley, and it fades out.
When you went over the speed bumps. When you go over speed bumps, it would change automatically. Yeah, I wore out 2 my Sharonas, and my, of course, the problem with 8-tracks, the reason I had so many is I was one of those dumbasses that did the Columbia House.
I did too, man. I still owe them probably like $10 million, like, because
my credit's
interest in
that's been the only black mark on my credit history is those guys.
Here's a bit of intel about me. I found out like later in life, my father owned one of those companies, like Columbia House, before I was born. Like, damn, I could have had a lot of good shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think when I was a teenager, like, it was great. I didn't have money, so I just gave my penny and like once a week, and I got all my music.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude,
so
2 or 3, and then 2 or 3.
Say that again. Say it again.
I said, what? It was like get 10 CDs or 10 sets for $1 or for a penny, and then you had to buy like 2 or 3 over the next 12 months, right?
Yeah, and they would keep sending them to you. They would keep sending them to you, and I just kept them like I was underage. Like, sure, bill me. So
my God.
anything else we touched on so much. This actually borders on like, I think my third longest interview ever. I have like over 3,000 of them.
Yay.
Awesome.
Got a bronze
That
medal.
says something about you guys though, seriously, because like,
We talk a lot.
it's just good. There was no dead air. I'm not bored. Like there's some bands, like sometimes you're bored. Hate to say it, but there's like my worst ever. The dude is one of the best guitarists ever, wears makeup, and it starts with D, but I won't say who it is, but everybody knows who it is, even without me saying. And like, you know, it's like some you're like, just like artists. Some I'm like, oh, I can't wait till this interview's over. And this one was just a lot of fun. And that's the way it should be. Interviews should be fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I always say that to the other press people at the festival, especially the ones I see that like they're boring me and I feel like I'm sitting there doing another interview and I want to slit my throat hearing theirs behind me. And I'll just walk up to them. First of all, the ones that have scripts, I just take them and I'm like, get rid of this shit. No metalhead wants to interview with you with your script. Okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
just chill out and just, they're normal people. Just have a conversation. They'll tell you everything that you need for the interview. You don't like, it takes a life of its own that way. That's where you get the stories, you know?
Right.
Not with, how'd you get your band name? Even though it started out somehow there. I don't know how that fucking happened.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say anything.
But it was unscripted. It was unscripted.
There
So
It was unscripted. You know, we were I always give a mulligan, Dean. So,
give a mullet. What? No.
a mulligan.
I do
It's a
have-
golf thing.
I do have two great stories having to do with that I'll tell quickly. One of them, like one of my best friends is Dan Spitz, and he always used to say to me, you know, I wish they would just ask us when we were on tour what skin conditioner we use, because I'm so sick of every fucking other question they're asking us 10 million times, you know? And then, right? And then, so I was interviewing August Burns Red, and I used to say all the time, I'm not going to ask you dumb questions like how'd you get your band name, or if it's in Wikipedia, he goes, well, you're lucky then, because we fuck with everybody that asks us that question. See that girl next to you? She goes, and she was a friend of mine, and he goes, she asks us the question. We do it with a total straight face, and we make up a different story every time. But for her, we were like, yeah, me and my sister, we were teenagers. We got this dog. It was her dog. She named it August. We were partying out in the street. We thought we were all high and thought it would be funny to light August on fire and watch it run down the street. Ergo, August Burns Red.
Terrible.
And he
Oh
goes,
my
you should
God.
have seen the look of horror on her face. And we did not break character.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm like, well,
I have
that'll
ideas
teach you.
now.
There you go. See, you can.
Jesus.
There's so much you could do with that. You should even bring Steve's lube to the interviews to do to fuck with him.
That's
You know
right.
what? We would, except somebody bought it at one of our shows. So we
Yeah,
just,
we did. We did. We
Yeah,
did carry
a
one
guy
around
bought
because
it.
somebody had to have it.
Well, see now.
It would be
You
in
should
the
get the story from them of how they use it, what happened, and turn that into a song.
Oh, I'm sure that shit was gone that night. That and a box of Kleenex.
oh God. Oh my
Well, guys,
goodness.
it's been a pleasure. Your music is badass. Everybody better listen to it and buy merch, or they can just fuck off. And
Oh,
Hell yeah.
but seriously, you guys are badass, and everybody's got to check you guys out. And thanks a lot for giving us such great music and entertainment. And you made my day. Like this is the most fun I've had all day. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Thank you for
all
having me.
right. Thanks for
Thank you for having us, my friend.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.